Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Fire Emblem Path of Radiance Footlock playthrough. In this part, we're going to take care of Chapter 3, Pirates Aground. While the story plays out, basically, we're going to get chewed out by Grail, properly reprimanded for disobeying Titania, and then we have a job to do with Titania, Shinon, and Gatrie. Anywho, as this happens, Boyd, Oscar, and Reese. I looked it up between recordings. It's pronounced Reese, not Rise. Oopsie. Are all going to stay out of our party for the next little bit, which is a bit of an odd thing to do, considering most Fire Emblem games let you keep all your characters from chapter to chapter. I think the only other game that gets rid of your starting party is the Marcia 776 after a certain plot point there. But it's a little bit odd, partially because spoiling this now, Shinon and Gatrie eventually leave your party, so they do come back, or at least one of them comes back easy, the other one not so much. I'll be recruiting everybody, so I'll show it off in the playthrough later. Causing trouble ever since, eh? Do all that we can. Seems Shinon's very excited to get in there and get going. Huh. Not gonna lie, the way that Gatrie describes it, where it sounds like he goes in first, generally not what most people would recommend. Most people recommend actually doing the opposite. Having your ranged attacker attack first, then letting your not ranged units get in, just so that way it makes it safer for the frontline units. But first off, while we're here, let's go over Shinon and Gatrie. Oh god, Shinon. Okay. I like Shinon, at least in the early game. He has reasonable enough stats, he's not too strong, he's not too weak, so he doesn't feel super overpowered. However, what kills Shinon? His strength is stupidly low for some weird reason, and his speed's a little bit below what I would call tolerable cusp. This, coupled with the fact that he wields bows only, by virtue of being a sniper, means that not very popular, and he's going to be severely understated when he rejoins quite a bit later in the game. Yikes. He has good growth rates, but dang, they definitely do not help him at all. Meanwhile, Gatrie. He is a level 9 knight. First knight unit in the entire game. Contrary to how I normally feel about knights, I like knights in Path of Radiance, however, Gatrie is not a shining example. He has high strength, high defense, good amount of HP, but his speed, man, it is so friggin' low. And it's gonna be a while before he can patch it up anyways. So I kind of have a why bother with Gatrie attitude towards him, but he's reasonable. I think I've used him before in a different playthrough. But he's okay. That's how I feel about him. I'm going to swap the Night Band over to Ike. In case I forgot to mention it, bands increase growth rates by 5% each, with one exception. The Night Band is strength and defense. The Archer Band is skill and speed. The Fighter Band is HP and strength. The Paladin Band is HP and speed. And the Priest Band is luck and resistance. Blah, I was about to say HP. Meanwhile, nothing too special and out of the ordinary. Boss has a Thief Band. The Thief Band is functionally another Archer Band, as it also raises speed and skill as long as it's equipped. Growth rates, not actual stats. I wish it was stats. But for now, let's get started. Alright, let's get started. Apologies for the jump cut. This chapter has been quite miserable to me. I've had to retry it a couple of times due to some poor luck. And despite my complaints about Gatrie earlier, he is at least fast enough to double the 0 attack speed enemies, so I can't complain that much. It's better than suffering a penalty. And Shinon kind of has to fulfill the role of my pre-promote for the moment, because of the challenge I've imposed on myself, but also, over here, I want you to bait out the sword dude. Not gonna... That's really what I need. Maybe he'll get a crit. Yep. I think I brought this up before, but snipers in the non-Japanese versions have an innate critical hit bonus. Titania, just get over here. It'll make life easier. And we have a girl. Her name is Marcia, it seems. Seems she's looking for a brother. Not getting too into it. I am going to try to recruit everybody, even though there are some characters I can't use. Marcia being one of them. Still, it is nice just because they come with items. She in particular has one of the bands. The Pegasus band, which is functionally a second priest band, if I recall correctly. Still, I really wish she didn't spawn on turn 1 in such a crowded area. It makes her prone to death, especially with the higher the difficulty. Yay, dodging. That's always good to see. I hope Marcia dodges some more. At least from the axe dudes, who I believe have weapon triangle advantage. Ouch. Weapon level up. Way to go, Ike. I will say, before you promote, weapon levels do cap at B on characters instead of A, which is a little unusual in this game. But it's alright. I kind of wish it capped at A, but that's me personally. I think part of that also has to do with the lack of ultimate weapons in this game. Strangely enough, there's very few S-rank weapons that are actually obtainable by the player. So I think that's also contributing to that. I move over here, flip the Siren Sword, and use a Vulnerary. Oh wow. I did a lot of dodging last turn. I didn't realize that. Hit. Can you kill this dude, Gatrie? Yes, you can. Please don't miss. That's all I gotta say. Yep, so tanky that he only takes 1 point of damage. That is the one good news about knights. Meanwhile, Shinon. Use a steel bow because I want you to kill this dude. Then afterwards, I'll start making my way forward. Meanwhile, Titania, visit this house. And we have quite the weird looking dude. Interesting. He's actually important for later, but for now, he's quite unimportant. And, yep, archers. Gotta love him, gotta hate him. Ow. Marcia. Please dodge. That's all I ask. Please live. I can only do so much to keep you alive. Especially without help from Titania. And by the way, if you are trying to recruit Marcia, for the love of God, use Titania to clear out that area as fast as possible. Just so that way Marcia will be defended quite a bit better. But for now, she is at least, hooray, will at least force her to use Vulneraries, since she dipped below half her max HP. Iron Sword on this dude, and that should guarantee Marcia's survival. As this dude, I believe will be forced to use a Vulnerary next turn. These guys should target Ike. Meanwhile, Gatrie. Iron Lance. Nice hit. And Shinon, just start moving up as fast as you can. Not really much else to do beyond that. And this bow using guy is at least smart enough to attack the dude that can't counterattack. Even though I think it would have been smarter to attack Ike in most senses, but hey, I'm not the AI. Level up from Ike, let's see. Okay, really solid. Kind of wish your HP went up there too, just to help with your bulk, but I'm not going to complain. And she's going to get off the battlefield next turn, so I'm not that worried. Let's see. This map objective is defeat the boss. So Shinon, move up there. You're fine. Don't need that archer band. Gatrie, I can't do anything to make him die instantly unless you get a crit, which very unlikely. Yep. Ike, talk to Marcia. Think that she might die without her brother. and it seems like Ike and her are hitting it off real well. In conversation, not so much like actual dating. Let's be serious. We're paying her debt later. And she thinks Ike is quite handsome. And she'll see us later. And by that I mean fully 7 chapters later. Yep. She doesn't appear again until chapter 9. Which, you get a whole swath of units at that point. Nice dodge, Ike. By the way, I hadn't noticed up to this point, but Ike's magic actually went up a little bit. I might commit to a plan later down the road, but for now, I'll leave it as is. It's not usual to see Ike with magic going up that often, but there is a small chance I might end up wanting to raise Ike's magic for something a little later on. Gatrie, finish off this dude, and then let's see. Ike, use your steel sword just to kill this dude, which should then be good. Hand axe. Okay, so unless I stand right there, which I don't mind. Shinon. Iron bow on this dude. That should be enough to soften up, or to get Helvetia in range, and then I should be able to have Shinon soften him up. Unless something strange like double crits happen, which I don't expect to happen, but it could. Seems he's a bit full of himself. Alright, that's good softening up from Shinon. And I think Shinon should be fast enough to finish off the Myrmidon there on his next turn, at the very least. Yeah. Steel bow. Very nicely done with that critical. Ike's inventory is quite full. Gatrie's not close enough. With that said, I don't really mind dropping the already used vulnerary. And I can't kill you this turn, but everybody else up here uses an axe, so I'm not that worried. I think what I'll do is I'm just gonna have Ike attack the boss with the steel sword. And if not, next turn I get to trade... Ooh, that's not good. I get to trade the hand axe away from Ike and into Shinon. Very nice on the dodge, Ike. That's good to see. Meanwhile, yeah, that's what I like to see. So, Shinon's gonna give Ike some help, and then Ike's gonna kill the boss. Meanwhile, Vulnerary into Ike. Iron Bow on this dude. Just that way he dies. And Ike. Just use an Iron Sword. Oh, I forgot to trade the hand axe over. I'm gonna be minorly punished for it by needing to throw away an item at the top of the next chapter, but it shouldn't be that big of an issue. I can throw away the Iron Sword that I have in the inventory still, so let's just end this chapter. And he's crying for help. That's pretty pathetic, not gonna lie. Level up Ike. Let's see what happens. Hey, his magic went up again. Okay, that's a plan I'm definitely gonna commit to then. Alright, haven't completed the mission. There's not a lot to talk about. The mercenaries are getting paid. The grandfather's a little confused at Grail and Titania not being in the Royal Army, but it's their choice. Anywho. Feeling that something's off with Titania. That's a bit interesting. Meanwhile, Shinon and Gatrie don't feel like it's as rewarding to work with the mercenaries as it could be, per se. Meanwhile, first time it's Titania being kind of angry for a while. And she just wants people proud to do their job, which is fair. Meanwhile, yes, Miss and Oscar probably made some very delicious food. I bet. And people still have pride. Meanwhile, Shinon just sees them as fools. Alrighty then. Thank you for watching, everybody. Please hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons, as well as hit the notification bell to stay up to date. I'll see you in the next part.